Tara Kartha, I want to understand from you. So President Putin thinks Russia first, Prime Minister Narendra Modi thinks India first. Together, they know that this relationship complements each other. I was reporting from Moscow when the two had that 5-hour-long meeting at the retreat in Moscow, and then subsequently they're meeting in Kazan. It would indicate that this is a relationship that complements each other in more ways than one. But are there niggles too in the India-Russia ties?
No, see, Gaurav, you're absolutely right. I mean, you know better than all of us that, the kind of warmth that is between India and Russia, and it's been on for decades. This is not something new. We've had a very great degree of trust. But, and of course, the leadership matters, when they get along, they have this vibe with each other. That also matters because, as Sandeep said, Putin, he kind of issues these directives, which then overrides everything else. So if he wants to do something particular for India, this is the man who will get it done, and he'll get it done without an issue. The hassle is that, Gaurav, is that they are Russia's, the size of the economy is less than half of ours. Their GDP
Yes,
has gone down. The war hasn't been good to them. So
yes.
then the most biggest problem which is going to come up during this visit is the amount of rupees which is lying in Russia. What do you do with that? So there has to be some. I mean, I think the bank is already talking about that, about
Yes.
investing in India, in Indian infrastructure. So that could probably happen pretty soon. They're talking of investing, and that is not under CATSA sanctions. So the
Hmm.
idea is to move away from energy, move away from those issues, and then get the kind of investment which we need. And let's also face it, in terms of technology, while we are still, I mean, we may say Russian exports have gone down 30%, all the rest of it, it is still the largest supplier for defense equipment. And in
Yes.
that relationship, which Sandeep will agree, is the spares which count. There you have to bring in private players. That is the way to go. I'll stop there.
So perhaps they need to start investing in India. Pranay, is that
Yes.
what we see? That they start investing in India. Pranay, if you can hear me, okay. Give me a moment. I'll reestablish that link with Pranay Upadhyay in just a moment. Ambassador Chakravarti, how do you see this relationship move, especially this particular visit of President Putin? Why is this perhaps the most critical? Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been in power for 11 years, President Putin for about 25 years plus. Do they have it in them perhaps now to make this relationship take off to another level? Or is this just another symbolic visit, an annual summit?
Well, I certainly don't think it's symbolic. And I do believe that the economic pillar has become very, very important because that was the weakest of the pillars in our relationship. Defense, we all know, and I think they have been a very reliable partner and technology transfer. In the nuclear domain, they have worked
Yes.
with us very closely. These are very sensitive and strategic areas. So we have no problem there, apart from the fact that because Russia is fighting a war, it cannot supply so quickly. So there are some of the procedural problems. But the economic pillar, I think, needs to be handled very, very urgently because of the trade, because of the sanctions and the
Imbalance.
lack of the dollar in trading. We are trading in other currencies, dirhams and yuan and various other currencies. And the amount of money that has accumulated. Don't forget that the total trade is about 68 billion, out of which India exports less than about 5 billion. The rest
Yes.
of it is accumulating in rupees. What does Russia do with that? I think we have experience of it. We had a rupee ruble agreement way back in the when we were all non-aligned in the Cold War. But I think now what Russia will have to do is to think it through as to where to invest in India, what to buy from India. India can sell a lot of products, but then I somehow the Russian, importers, etc., were focused on other countries, particularly Europe, because that was closer to them. But I
True.
think today that aspect has to change, and I think we
Okay.
will need to have a large number of items being exported from India.
Okay, will automobile be one of them? Okay, I want to bring in Anjana once again. Anjana, you were telling us about the newer aspects of cooperation and economic cooperation between the two countries.
और जिस देश का तिरस्कार, अपमान, अलग थलग करना, आइसोलेशन जिसको कहते हैं, डिप्लोमेटिकली एंड इकोनॉमिकली, यानी अगर आप देखें तो कूटनीतिक तौर पर, राजनयिक तौर पर और आर्थिक रूप से किया जा रहा है सैंक्शंस के जरिए। बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग किस्सा है। अगर आप यहाँ पर जाएंगी तो जो बड़े बड़े अमेरिका के ब्रांड्स थे जो आम लोग भारत में भी खरीदते हैं, ज़ारा है, ऐसे तमाम ब्रांड्स है, दुकानों का नाम बदल गया है, वो ब्रांड हट गया है, लेकिन वही सामान, क्योंकि जो लोग उसमें काम कर रहे थे वो रूसी लोग थे, खुद से वो प्रोड्यूस कर रहे थे, खुद से वो बेच रहे थे, तो सिर्फ नाम बदला है दुकान का, लेकिन आपको समझ में आ जाएगा देखकर कि अरे ये तो वही है। तो ये दिखाता है कि जो परिस्थितियां यहाँ पर बदली हैं वो कैसे सतही तौर पर बदली हैं। और जब व्लादिमीर पुतिन की बातचीत के लिए, क्योंकि हम लोग लगातार 3 दिन से लगे हुए थे, क्रेमलिन रोज जा रहे थे, क्रेमलिन में हम मौजूद थे और हमें पता था कि विटकॉफ और कुशनर के साथ इस वक्त मीटिंग चल रही है। 5 घंटे से व्लादिमीर पुतिन उनके साथ बैठे हुए हैं, तो वो इंतजार अपने आप में बहुत दिलचस्प था। धड़कनें बहुत तेज थी कि किसी तरह से ये इंटरव्यू उनके भारत निकलने के पहले हो जाए, क्योंकि उनका पर्सपेक्टिव ये मायने रखता है कि क्या जो हम मल्टीपोलैरिटी, सिर्फ अमेरिका ही पूरे विश्व का वो नहीं रहेगा शक्ति केंद्र, अलग अलग देश जो है वो अपनी ताकत दिखा रहे हैं, ऐसी तमाम बातें कहने को रहती थी। लेकिन जब तक आप सीधा व्लादिमीर पुतिन से ये सवाल नहीं पूछते कि क्या वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर, आप क्या नई चीज देख रहे हैं, आप क्या मानते हैं कि क्या मतलब ब्रिक्स या रिक्स कोई बड़ा बदलाव कर देगा, ये तमाम सवाल उनसे करना अपने आप में मुझे लगता है एक ऐसा अनुभव है। जब हमने मल्टी करेंसी पे बात की, उन्होंने रूपी रूबल पर बात की।